Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Daily Grind. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. We're trying this new thing where I do a new song every day, and that's song number 8. What was your favorite of 1 through 8? You can say 9 if you don't remember any of them, but that one.
I'm gonna be honest. 8 was pretty catchy, man. The Russian judge gives it a 7.5. Like I'm here for
it. Yes. This is my brother Rusty right here from one half of the Bucks we've discussed until I get Drew on here. You're the better half of the Two Bucks Sports Show. I don't care if he had a newborn. He needs to get on here soon. But thank you for joining me again, brother. On this Tuesday. I hope you're good. How are you?
Yeah, man. Life is good, man. These last couple of weeks have been great. Reconnected with someone that's been pretty fun. Life's going really well right now. I can't complain.
Awesome, dude. Yes, I love hearing that.
Yeah,
Life's going well. If life were a 24-hour window, I bet yesterday life would be going pretty well for the Grizzlies. I would imagine too. Did you get to watch any of the, I got the notification on my phone. I had to do the Insider Insights, but I for a second I thought about phoning it in when I got the notification that said lowest total points of the season, NBA history, something. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if you watched it, it wasn't a terrible game.
It really wasn't. We won. I did the preview yesterday, and a quick pat on my back. I called it. Called a Grizzlies win. I almost called the score. I said 110-101, and 106-102 was real close to that. But
you were real close. Your whole preview, you were like on the money. You were like, yep. Yeah, hats off. If I was having a hat, hats off to you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. Yeah, but it was a good basketball game. And right now, I'm sure you saw my tweet. I am very pro Lamar Stevens playing basketball. So anytime that dude laces him up, I'm here for it. And he hooped again last night, man. He's just a fun dude to watch play. We got a Jake LaRavia double-double. Like, what is that? Like, I mean,
gun to my head at the All-Star break, I would have said that would not happen. And I'm glad I didn't gamble anybody's life. You know, I've been prone to do that, so it's a good thing I didn't this time, you know?
I don't want to say this too loud. This is a safe space with us and our listeners out there. Thank y'all for being here. Safe space. But Jake LaRavia hadn't looked awful. He hadn't looked great, but he hasn't looked awful.
I'm very, very, oh God, I've got to be careful about eating crow because I almost wrote something. I was like, if you write this, it's out there. I was like, is he turning into the dude that you want as your 12th man? Like it.
I don't know if I'll go that far yet. That's
I mean, if you got 15 guys on the roster and say one of them's Yuta, who's probably not long for the team, and say 12's not a bad spot.
I guess not, man. And, again, this is all with a grain of salt because next year he might get 6-8 minutes a game. Like, it wouldn't be that much contribution. I still think I would rather see somebody else in a Grizzly uniform, a la Lamar Stevens, filling a spot there. I would much rather, retain him and let somebody like Jitty or LaRavia or Zaire go just because of it's a small sample size, but it's a damn good sample size of what we've seen so far of what Lamar can do.
Man, I was in the building on the Saturday, the second the 18-point collapse to the Blazers.
I'm so sorry.
Dude, Lamar played like no time. And that was the one I was like, what are we? That one baffled me because I was like, put him in. He is winning his minutes and we need
and that's why he didn't play. It was a competitive tank. He was playing too well, so they pulled him so we could collapse and gain a game on Portland. But I didn't say that out loud.
No, you're right. That's what I was looking at because I took my partner, her and I took our son. We were there and it was just like, we were sitting there and I was like, I knew it was going to be like this. I knew it was going to be a tank. I was getting so grumpy old man. And I was just like, the refs it was so frustrating. We had our Hawaiian shirts, so that was nice. But
that was nice. Yeah. I almost came to that, but had something come up Saturday night. They ended up being a whole lot more fun. Friday night, I watched the Blazers game and was just like, you know what? I have zero desire to watch anything resembling a Grizzlies basketball game on Saturday night. So thankful I had other plans that kept me occupied.
I didn't watch the Friday game, so I was ready for this. I was ready for basketball Saturday, and it wasn't fun.
It was abysmal. My dad and I, which we'll get to this here a little bit later, we watched a movie because we were watching it, and I'm like, Dad, like, I am so sorry that you have to watch this. Let's watch anything but this.
Anything but this. Well, and it had me not looking forward to last night's game. I was like, man, I was previewing the game yesterday, and I was like, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I don't have a lot of positive things to say with Jaren being out. I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and even then we kind of got cooked. I mean, we didn't get cooked on the glass, but when the Bally Sports is featuring something on Nick Claxton, it's just like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What are we doing? You know, like it was.
Yeah.
And even like we almost lost, you know, that.
I mean, we did. After having a decent lead late in the game, we let them scrap and claw and fight their way back into it, but did enough to hang on. Luke went nuclear last night. So, you know, season high, just pouring buckets in last night. And like,
thank God,
that, you know, again, because he's been kind of MIA since the injury. And I don't know if it was him just kind of coming back or if it was him, you know, being more timid or if this was like game plan, whatever it was. They cut him loose last night and he caught fire, man. Was it 25 he finished with last night?
Yeah.
Just had
and 7 rebounds or 7 assists.
What is that? Yeah, Luke.
Yeah.
I'm here for Luke running point, man. He can help with some of that.
Well, and also, do you know that he is currently second in the league in 3-point percentage behind Grayson Allen? He's 2.
Wow. No,
after last night,
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, after last night, he's 2, and he's only. I think Grayson Allen is only like a percentage point and a half on him.
Oh wow, yeah.
Well, he could catch him again. If he catches him again, that's going to be 3 seasons in a row where he's led the league in 3-point percentage, and if that's the case, they better sign him like extend. It's weird they haven't done it already, but it's getting to the point where it's time. It's like they need to stop saying he's a part of the future and sign him.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It is kind of you know, makes me a little bit nervous, but I trust Kleiman. He knows what he's doing. There's probably some wheeling and dealing that we're not seeing behind the scenes as they're preparing for some offseason acquisitions and what they're going to do with some of these other guys. Obviously, we're going to have to get creative to keep Lamar Stevens. And so I think I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that they've got their whiteboard up. They're taking notes. They're doing things in the office to make it work for Luke. And I hope so, because next year when we're healthy and we're Ja's cooking and we've got our big down low, we're going to need Dez and Luke and these guys to hit those threes for us to win these big games. And Luke is a big part of the future. Has to be.
I think so too, especially with these assist numbers, that if he can keep doing what he's doing, like with the ball in his hands more like right now, then he's going to get to the point where he might even eliminate the need for a backup point guard, you know, like if he proves that this is something that he's capable of doing long term. I mean, I know he's playing out of sorts, but even playing out of sorts, unleashed last night, you know, like he was playing real good ball last night.
He doesn't. What's nice about it, Luke, is he doesn't look awkward. Like when he's handling the ball, he's facilitating. Like I'm chalking it up to growth, because it's been some growth this year. It's not been just like, oh, you're thrown in the middle of the fire, figure it out. Like, not only has he been throwing the fire, but he's finding the open guys. He's distributing the ball well. You know, if we can get, I mean, crap, in you know, next year, if we can get 4 or 5 assists out of him a night, like that's a huge win, man. Is that, and like you said, I love Scottie Pippen Jr. I want him to be our backup point guard, but could he be that developmental backup point guard? Sure. But if Luke can fill that role, man, I don't hate that. Not at all.
No, man. I think one thing that people forget about him, I forget about, he's 6'5". Like he's got the size that you want in someone to with the ball in his hand, and I don't know. I think that you are going to need guys that can shoot, guys that can handle the ball. I don't know. It's like check. Well, you don't let those guys go. I don't know why you let those guys go, I guess.
Exactly. And two, it'll take some pressure off of Marcus Smart in that second unit next year, because I think we all can hold hands and agree that Marcus Smart probably needs to be coming off the bench next year if we can get some other guys developed. But having Luke at the 1 and Marcus at the 2 will take so much pressure off of Marcus, so he can be that defensive menace that he should be.
Yeah. And if you have Gigi, like, I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but like you put Gigi with those 2 guys and Santi and Vince. Yeah. Like,
man,
it's good. It's a good
BC
team.
back, maybe. That team is elite defensively, and we're the association, but we can talk about that in the offseason.
Yeah. We'll hold our horses. Anything else that you noticed about last night? Anything that jumped out? Did you miss Zaire?
Who? No, I mean, yeah,
that's why you're number one.
That's right. No, because Zaire has been playing better. I tweeted out last night during the game, and I put it in my article yesterday. Like, he's averaging like 14.5 points a game over his last 4 games. He's been playing good basketball, and not just that above the rim stuff, though. He's always been good at his catching hoops, and that's why him and Ja work well together. He's been shooting the ball well. Drew and I talked about our show last week, just watching like that improbable 3 from the 3rd row in Minnesota and a half court shot. Like, he's hitting some shots. I think if he'd have played last night, especially playing how he's been playing recently, it would have been different. I thought that, Hurt has got my boy's got concrete feet. He just cannot move, man. He cannot move. He reminds me, this is like what my original Grizz fandom was, because I liked Bryant Reeves, Big Country, coming out of Oklahoma. When he got drafted by Vancouver, I got the reversible Big Country jersey. I was all in. My nephew still has that jersey, man. I was all in.
Yes.
Reminds me of Big Country because he cannot get up and down the floor. He just lumbers. And like when he gets to a spot, he'll hit a shot. I mean, he's got that weird looking but effective shot. That's weird. My boy just can't move.
His hands don't. It's very strange. My partner, she hates him because hates him, irrational hatred, because the very first game that he played, he was awful. And she was like, "Who is this guy? He's not helping." I'm like, "I don't know. He looks." And our son, he was like, "Now is that Jake?" I'm like, Jake's the other white one with the more slim. I don't know. They both have,
but not real athletic. Yeah.
No. And then he was like, "And who's Jitty?" And I was like, "He's the other white guy." I mean, it was a whole
marginally more athletic. If we still had John Lure from back in the day, what would we even be, man?
Well, dude, and then Luke out there just shooting the ball as well as he is, and I'm like, and his hair's going, so that's how you tell him apart. It's just it's going better than expected with those dudes on the floor, I guess I would say. But we won't. I think that's about all to say about last night. It's hopefully. I agree. I don't know if we're gonna win the next one. If you had to pick, what do you think we beat Philly?
We looked better last night, so I think there's a chance. I think we got a chance in any game that we play. It's at Philly, though. No, I don't think we win that game.
I echo that sentiment. We will take, especially with the problem that we both agree is happening, the stripes that are out there with us. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk about a couple zebras out there with whistles in their mouths right after this.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays with, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, and now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side. Yeah. His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward. Right. Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is with are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, he's David Jones. Outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? He's facilitating the ball well. I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up, and then literally within the first 15 seconds missed a wide open layup, and then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well, I think
we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I was going to try to do a zebra noise. I don't know what that is. So
I don't either.
so I refrained. For those of you just joining us, you're welcome. I got Rusty here from the $2 Sports Show. He is joining me, and we are about to talk about, what are your thoughts, my friend? Is there a referee problem currently in the NBA? Maybe not just with the Grizzlies. I think everyone can agree there is a referee problem with the Grizzlies. And that's not just from two fans. I mean, some of the stuff, like the game last night, the move last night where he choked him.
Oh, yeah.
Between the hostile act that I think cost us the game against Portland the night before, where the elbow that never touched him, that he flopped, between him getting thrown on the ground earlier, there's just been so much bull poop. Part of my language. And I just
spicy.
You're getting real spicy on here, and I just don't know what to do about it anymore, because it's not just us, it's other teams. There's other teams where calls are just being missed, calls are being just wrong calls. There's just a lot going on. And I was curious about what your thoughts were. If you thought there was a problem, if there was a problem, how do you fix it? If you can fix it.
Yeah.
If there's not a problem, maybe I'm just being a little whiny baby head.
No, there's been a problem for a while. These superstar calls have always been a thing. I just feel like it's been more of there's a video, James Harden not that long ago got a call for the Clips against the Celtics where nobody touched him. He just went up awkwardly. He just kind of slipped on his takeoff, goes up awkwardly, they call a foul. And it's just such a culture of these superstar calls. My biggest beef last night with the takedown was wasn't it on Jake LaRavia? Why are you taking Jake down like that? What's he do? Right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's pulling a WWE move, shout out to The Rock or whatever, but it's Jake LaRavia. He calm down. But man, it has been an issue dating back to Zebo getting suspended for game 7 or game 6 against the Thunder way back in 2013, 14 and all that. It has been a longstanding issue, and this year is not a lot better. Night after night, there's these blatant missed calls or superstar calls that are given. And unfortunately, we as the Grizzlies are a team that's not your traditional basketball team. Everybody's hyping up the Thunder for what they're doing. We did it before them, and we did it better, and we didn't have Josh Giddey out there checking out your young children. Anyway, I digress.
Yes. Nothing makes me. I'm a nonviolent guy. I'm wearing a Kermit the Frog shirt. If that didn't give it away, I just don't. Nothing makes me want to punch something more than hearing these Thunder people oh, young fun team. I'm shut up.
We did it first. We did it first, and we did it better.
Literally both. Okay, continue.
Yes.
Sorry,
and so
continue.
No, you're good, because I can get salty about it. So I'm glad you said something about that, because we were called thugs, and we were called, people that, they were hating on us for the same crap that Oklahoma City's doing. So it makes me hate them almost as much as I still hate them freaking Clippers. But I digress, man. I'm getting it's getting hot in here.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, happy Tuesday. But it's been an issue for a while, and it's one that the Grizzlies are never really going to overcome. And what sucks about it, Luke, is there's no accountability. Yeah, the NBA puts out their after action report for the last 2 minutes, and they can just be like, hey, we totally screwed up. We missed every single call. Sorry. And that's it. There's no fines, there's no suspensions, no nothing. At least in the NFL, you get relegated from playoff games, you don't get to cover the Super Bowl, these type things. But I just feel in the NBA, there's just no accountability. That all they'll say is, yeah, they missed that call, and then it's just crickets and nothing comes out of it.
I explain that to people one, trying to explain what a foul is in the NBA is just really difficult. I didn't do a good job, and I'm not even going to try to do it on this show. I just don't know at this point. And then explaining that, I'm oh yeah, and they will just admit that they missed every call within the final 2 minutes, and that's it. They just admit, they're and nothing happens. And they were what? I'm yes, I don't know why. I don't understand the purpose of it either. And I don't. And I don't know what. I don't know if you make these guys immediately do a press conference, does that solve the problem?
Yeah. But no, they get escorted off. Like I think there's got to be some level of accountability. It's getting so spicy in here. My dog is running laps. So if y'all hear that background noise, I do apologize for that. She's getting feisty about it too. Shelby and I have had these conversations watching the Chris. Not nobody else here to listen. So it's me and Shelby.
She's a great sounding board.
Absolutely. She just looks at me like, hand me that toy. But anyway, I digress. Like they escort them off the court, they get changed, and they get out of Dodge. And like, I understand why you need to protect some of that because of what they do. It's a very, very tense job, and there can be some hot-headed guys. I mean, I was not even 10 seconds ago, I was pretty spicy talking about the Grizz, but like, I understand you need to protect them, but there has to be some accountability. There's just egregious missed calls. Like, what even is a carry or a travel or a walk anymore? Nobody knows.
Shelby doesn't know.
Shelby doesn't even know. But at the end of the day, like, there has to be some level of accountability to fix it.
Yeah. And I just don't, I'm like you. I don't know. I don't know what that accountability is. I don't know if it's a press conference. I don't know if you find them. I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know what the salary is. I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to bring back. I think it would be good instead of composting if we did like rotten fruit and did the old thing where you throw rotten fruit at them. There's just a lot of options available. I don't know what we want to do. Oh, I might have lost. You might be muted, but it looks like you're dancing. It looks like you want me to throw rotten fruit at you.
Yeah, that's what it was. No, remember those old like locking? Yeah, those old locking shackles. The stocks. That's what they were called. Bring those back, and we can fix it. I just think
support that.
That or like, what about like a Rate My Professor where we can go online and we can like berate them and like talk about them on social media and like, hey, you're terrible. Hey, whatever. Like, we can put this into a thing, right?
I mean, there needs to be something that happens because you can't. The players. It's just going to be hard for Adam Silver as as a commissioner to continue to not have any sort of punishment, to not have any sort of accountability. It's just about accountability. The players are held accountable very much now, down to the point of how many games they have to play if they want to be considered for postseason awards. If you're going to hold them,
sorry to interrupt, but and the amount of money they have to pay in a fine. If they talk about the refs, they get massively fined.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And they're just, at this point, they're just like, give it to me, they're like, I don't care. And it's, the fine isn't big enough for most of them to care. So it's like, if you're punishing them and then the refs are just getting off completely scot-free, it's gonna, I imagine that's such the different levels of scrutiny there, like to be totally off. It's going to get to the point where he can't control it. And then it's going to get out of hand. It's already out of hand, but it's going to get to the point where it completely, it ruins games. Like the last 2 minutes of the game last night took half an hour. Like the game that I was at on Saturday, they were like, so how much time is left? And I was like, it's 2 minutes. And they were like, okay, so we'll be out of here in like 10. I was like, oh no, man, it's going to be like 45. That's how long. It's just how long you got to be. Like the games on TV are 2 hours of basketball and 30 minutes at the end of a game of officiating calls. And that's
100%. I mean, what was that? Was that like a month or so ago when they called like the 8 second on Thanasis when they were down, when Milwaukee was down by like 20, and it's like, why are we calling that? Like, just let the game go and get it over with. Like, you want your 15 minutes of fame. But yeah, man, like, our coach got massively fined for the atrocious comment. Take that for data. Like, all these come to mind. There's Ant saying what he said on the court a couple weeks ago. Like, there's all these fines for these players, but there's absolutely nothing coming down. And it's only going to get worse unless you get some accountability, because right now they hold all the power over outcomes of games, over, the last 2 minutes, like you said. It's like in baseball, professional baseball. These umpires are, the best team not heard. And in professional baseball, Angel Hernandez is the first one that comes to mind. Tim West is not far behind him. Yep. They love to be the center of attention. And I feel like we've had some of those, Scott Foster and Tony Brothers, these guys that love to insert themselves in games, and nothing is being done about it. And it's only going to get worse.
Yep, you're absolutely right. So I guess the answer is yes, there is a ref problem. If you disagree with us, kick rocks. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we will talk about just what we're watching, because for those of you here for our first Tuesday, it's Tubin Tuesday right after this quick break.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now I might not like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you come to me man to man and say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game.
Right.
All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man.
Yeah.
You got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping this logo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes,
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act, okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine. Cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Luke. I've got Rusty here. Quick sidebar before we do Achievement Tuesdays. Did you just get a medical update? Did you see what the team just announced?
Oh no, I got them silenced during the show. Do I even want to know?
So Zaire has been diagnosed with a grade 2 strain of hip flexor and low back muscles. Will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Derrick Rose diagnosed with right osteitis pubis after his injury. Will be reevaluated in 3 weeks. I'd say that's probably curtains for both this season.
Yeah, for sure. Derrick Rose is transitioning to a consulting role.
Yep. Yeah, they should have just said that. That'd have been a lot shorter words. I know you don't get billed by the word like an obit, but they should have just done that.
Yeah.
All right. But it's Tuesday, and that means Tubin Tuesday.
Ooh,
I'll go first because I want to hear about the movie that you saw because I don't know what it is, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of college basketball. It's almost March Madness. It's my favorite time, one of my favorite times of the year. I get like 4 TVs set up, and I'll just have I'll have all the games on. I love filling out brackets. I've gotten 2 of the last 5 brackets right. I've gotten them. I've called the winner. I like those odds, and it's just I like math because I don't know. I was a weird kid. I was back when they called you gifted, quote unquote, is what they called you in elementary school. I just really liked math, and so I like filling these brackets out. I watched a lot of hoops. Watched Caitlin Clark's at the all-time scoring record. I love her. She's my favorite person to watch. I love her. Lots of college hoops. Going to be watching a lot more. We might do a bracket challenge on here. Everybody, stay tuned. But what movie did you watch? You mentioned a movie with your pops. What did you see?
Yeah, so my pops, his health's not super great. So I try to go see him most weekends. But he and I, like, ever since I was a kid, he and I were the only ones in our family that really liked horror movies or scary movies. And so anytime I go home, he's like, hey, I found some horror movies for us to watch. And I'm like, cue them up, Pops. And so it was on Amazon, I believe. We watched a movie called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's this story of this ship setting sail. They've got some cargo in there that comes alive. And
I've seen the trailer. It looks so scary.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a vampire, kind of traditional movie, but a different setting, a different take on it. It left it wide open for more. And that's all I'm going to say. I was entertained. I enjoyed it. Thought it was good.
Did your dad like it?
he napped through most of it. It's kind of what he does. But what he saw, he liked. But I enjoyed it.
I get it.
Good.
Man, so another, if you didn't know I was weird enough, well, I love nautical theme things. So if you tell me something is taking place on an old boat, I'm in. It doesn't even, and the trailer looks creepy. It's in it. It's Davos from Game of Thrones, right? Is that who's in it?
I spoiler alert. I like, don't judge me. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I know.
I don't have a table to flip, but if there was one to flip, just know I'd be like, ugh.
I'm uninvited. I just like fantasy's not my thing, and Game of Thrones, like I'm kind of that guy too. Like I never read Harry Potter. I've never seen any of the movies. Like I just don't get into hyped up stuff.
I don't get mad when people, because fantasy is nerdy as hell, and it's you're asking a lot of your audience. So if people just tell me fantasy's not their bag, I'm like, cool, all right, you're invited back on. If you liked fantasy and you were just choosing to be obstinate, I'd be like, what? This isn't a cool look, bro. Like this isn't cool. I know it's long, but just bite the bullet.
It's just not my thing. But yes, would recommend it. It's set like in the late 1800s, I believe, and they're setting sail, and it's good. They're heading from I believe from, if I'm not mistaken, from Ireland to they're heading to London. I know they're heading to England. Very good. Definitely recommend.
Done. I'm gonna check it out. I might watch it. There's no way we don't hoop tonight. I might watch that tonight.
Off tonight. Perfect.
I might make me and the kiddo might watch it.
Let me know what you think if you do, man.
He's going to watch video games all night. He's going to play video games all night, but I'm going to watch it.
There you go. Perfect.
All right, y'all. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for joining me, Rusty. I'm going to, as long as you're coming back on Tuesdays, I'm going to have you next Tuesday if you're here.
I'm here, man. I got nothing going on. And I'm shout out to Shelby making her appearance today, making her voice known.
I'm just glad for the first. Normally it's me with the dogs barking, and I'm just like, not stopping it. I'm not. Yeah. There's too many of them. They're just gonna bark, and so she is welcome anytime. We might do a Shelby segment. You got my. Send me a detailed drawing of her, and we'll have it by next show.
Can do.
That'll do us for today's show. I will see everybody tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I guess you'll see Rusty next week. See y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.